talk about this film, man. You know I'm hyped. Welcome to the episode of Times Square Kung Fu. I am your host, Frankie Balboa, aka the Shogun Supreme.
And I'm Peter Goligowski, associate editor at Flixus.com. Today we're going to be talking about Eureka's upcoming release of She Shoots Straight.
Show them that case. Show them that case. Show them. Oh, man, I'm hyped, man. Oh, man, let's get into it, man. If you guys been long followers of this channel, you know I spoke about this film as one of my favorite Guns for Girls film. And I did a video praying that we get an HD transfer, Blu-ray of this release. And it happened. It freaking happened. But what was amazing is, this was Peter's first time watch. Again, like I mentioned, this is my favorite Girls with Guns film, and I'll explain later. Peter, what do you think of She Shoots Straight?
And this is like right after we just watched it. We discussed it for maybe like 20 minutes, so it's still pretty fresh. I thought it was really good. Yeah. I could definitely see why it is your favorite one, because there's a lot more drama to it. It's very heavy with character development, and there's like a broad cast. But not only that, as you said a bunch of times, it's more focused on the girls. And you think that would not be an issue with Girls with Guns, but even in Yes Madam, there's a lot of Choi Hark's nonsense in that contraption room, and then on In the Line of Duty 4, it's kind of Donnie Yen's movie. You know, so this one is, while there's like Yuen Wah as the villain, and I guess Sammo Hung is kind of there as support, it's mostly the ladies, and even the final battle is between two women. So they definitely go hard on the girls aspect of Girls with Guns.
Right. Like I mentioned, like this subgenre of Girls with Guns, I feel like this is the movie that finally honed it in, you know? And you know what, Yes Madam sort of launched it. It's no coincidence that Corey and Sammo Hung teamed up for that one. And then we get this amazing film with them, and they knocked it out of the park. Like completely. And for people who never seen this film, once again, we just finished watching it, so this is a raw review. It's pretty straightforward. They going after Vietnam's gang, going havoc in freaking Hong Kong, and they teamed up. And what makes this very special is, like, the start of the film, Joy's character is marrying Tony Long Cafe. I said cafe.
Cafe.
Cafe, you know? And he's an officer, and he comes from a long family of police officers. So he's the only son. So you see Joyce getting pressure, like, hey, we're going to give a child and all this stuff, but he's still doing police business. And what makes this film great is the family acts like family. And that's where the humor comes into this film that is done very well. It's more like, not like goofy type comedy, but it's more like the distance each other. The way you joke around with your own family members, like in a Thanksgiving dinner. And they do that very well in this movie.
Yeah, as I said to you too, like there's comedy, and obviously it's to lighten the mood at certain points, but I wouldn't call the film a comedy. You know, it's not ha-ha funny, and it's not even like Prodigal Son where they're juxtaposing really dark shit against ha-ha moments. Like it's like everyday humor, and they joke with each other, like you said, like a family.
And you guys are gonna be in for a treat, because the film starts off with a freaking bang. If you guys have seen In the Line of Duty 3, it pretty much starts off like that. And this movie is structured very well. You get gunplay in the beginning, little drama, which pushes the plot forward, which we're not going to talk about. And then you get the fist fights in the end, where the choreography is crazy, but we're going to talk about that later. But the beginning, they throw everything in there, Peter. Everything.
Yeah, it seems like, the way you put it too, that it's kind of a greatest hits of the In the Line of Duty series. Like, starts off with assaulting a nightclub or a fashion show or whatever you want to say, and then it transitions to that motorcycle chase, and later on in the movie it's kind of got the close quarters combat of Royal Warriors, and there's a lot of similar things to Yes Madam, just without Choi Hark's nonsense. And it's always changing. The choreography never repeats the same moves. It's always in different settings. And it's a very diverse film in terms of the action.
And one thing about this film that does very well, and they keep digging that in, it's violent. Like, it's very, like, brutal. Like, you think you're like, okay, nah, you get some execution type.
Yeah. Every time someone gets shot, it's almost like point blank. And even then, I mean, I wouldn't say it's necessarily as violent as Royal Warriors, but let's just say there's one moment where you think you're at the lowest, you're with the characters, you're almost on the verge of tears, and then it somehow it gets a little lower.
Yeah, they keep doing that very well. But one thing, like I told you before we started recording, even when we were watching the film, I told you to pay attention to this film doesn't miss details, little details, and the action, and also the drama to explain certain things. And for me, like, this film does it. Like, in the beginning, it's not a spoiler at all. During the bike scene, she's chasing these guys, and this is unrelated to the Vietnamese guys because they're protecting the princess and all that, but they're on the cover. She grabs the bike, but when she grabs the bike, a fire hydrant explodes and she gets soaking wet. So while she's chasing these guys, they see of course, a freaking truck full of freaking gasoline, and they shoot it, and it explodes, and she goes through the fire, which looks amazing, nice slow-mo and everything. And you see her coming out all drenched and wet, and that's how she didn't get burned. And you see little details like that, not only in the action, but also in the plot. So I really like the way this film is structured as a whole compared to all the Girls and Girls films,
Yeah, I agree. I do think the middle drags a little bit. There's some melodramatic, typical Hong Kong movie style stuff, but other than that, like, I don't want to nitpick a film, and I'm not trying to look for problems, but it's just like, I don't know what I would really say is like wrong with the movie. It's just good. Like, it's got great action. It's heavy on the drama. The characters are well developed, and it just moves. Like, you're never sitting there like checking the clock or being like, oh Jesus, how long is this movie?
Right, and like we were talking before we started recording, I actually like the middle aspect of it because, again, no details are missed. When they introduce the mother, which steals the freaking show to me, that little segment is to build up more, show what type of woman she is. And I liked it because it resonated with me, being family oriented, seeing the way they communicate with each other and show her demeanor actually amplifies it. Instead of the prick chief,
Yeah, the superintendent in this movie is an asshole. And I guess if I had to say anything else, maybe he's a little lacking in terms of development. He's kind of one note, but he does serve his purpose.
He serves his purpose, but going back to what we spoke about, like this film is very woman prominent. Is like, I like that they voice their opinions. Yeah. Like in that one case, when it started to, when they put the case together for the Vietnamese gang, they have to go on the cover as hostesses, and they voice their concerns like, hey, what if it goes too far with them touching us, doing this and that? And you see them going like, yeah, word, what's gonna happen? They want to take me to the room and do their thing, man. I'm not playing that. Hell no, I'm not that type of woman, yo. So I enjoy that little stuff. You know what I mean? It's not major to the plot, but it shows you how strong this female, very lead-heavy film is.
Well, yeah, it may not be like major to the plot or even that important, but as an expository detail, it does establish that the world is real. Like, there's not, even in terms of the action choreography, it's nuts, don't get me wrong, but nothing seems implausible. Yeah, it's not so far beyond believability that you're like, how the hell is anything happening?
Yeah, and I like that they do that because before a major scene happens, you get how they're going to approach it, even the small details like that. Because other films would have just not even do that. You go on the cover, this is what it is, and boom. But I like that little detail. It makes it more like, real, more grounded. So I definitely appreciated that, and that's a tone they kept throughout the whole film with the action and the drama. So kudos to that, man. They killed it overall. And with that, we're gonna speak about something that me and Peter couldn't stop talking about, and that is the freaking picture quality. Oh my god. Oh my yo, let's roll this.
So in terms of the picture quality on this disc, it's like I honestly would have believed it was a 4K restoration. It is razor sharp, and there is fine grain detail. It doesn't overpower the image. The colors are great. As you mentioned, you think they used Topaz upscaler because there's some artifacting from upscale, but other than that, like there's only certain shots where like maybe it's a little over sharpened, and like maybe there's one or two SD inserts because the footage was probably just hell. But otherwise, like I don't know, it's great. I mean, especially compared to that recent release for Fatal Termination. We're only bringing that up because he got it the day before I got this. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was gonna do a video on this. I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna bother. I'm not gonna bother, man. Like this right here is one of the most disappointing releases I got since I got back into collecting, and I love this film. It's not that great, but I love it, especially for one of the most iconic stunts in freaking cinema.
Oh my god.
It's terrible. But adding to what Peter said, I texted him right away. I'm like, this was like a 4K scan. I didn't even know the details of this release. This looks sharp, vibrant. I was almost crying when I texted you. I'm like,
yeah.
the grain detail, just the opening shot of the wedding ceremony where the freaking you see the cop doing his pose, like it looked good. And again, I'm assuming, I don't know the scanning or the process it did for this film. And don't get us wrong, we're not knocking it. Because a lot of people use in the film industry Topaz and other AI upscaling, tools. It's just that I know people that use it and they work in the industry. And the stuff that I told you I mentioned is the stuff you see is because the motion blur or a lot of artifacts or noise is happening there. But it's stuff you're not gonna notice. Again, I could be wrong, but the thing is, the picture quality looks so freaking good. I thought it was a 4K scan. I'm like, yo, I'm looking for imperfections because that's what we do. And I'm like, this looks a little. If you guys use emulators for video games, you could like do a smoothing effect on it or something like that. You don't see that, but one scene in particular, I sent you a picture, looked similar. I have the laser disc of this bad boy. That's how much I love this film. And it was just the blur. But because it's so sharp and clear, it looked at something similar. So again, the picture in this film, I kept saying, yo, this was like a 4K scan. This is one of the best 2K scans I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, that's what's mind-blowing. The back of the box says, brand new 2K scan. And I'm like, 2K? Like, what? It's just like, it's clean as hell. And just, other than the same issues that crop up with any of these Hong Kong films, like, the transfer is great.
Because it looks as good as freaking Yes Man. Yes Man is a 4K scan, and Royal Warrior is a 2K scan. And it looks like a 2K scan. When I first saw it, I'm like, it's looking a little blurry, and then I realized, oh, I was watching Yes Man. That's when I got the German releases. But yeah, you guys are gonna be for a treat. This thing looks so freaking beautiful. It looks so freaking beautiful. I almost cried. I'm like, because I love this film so much. Audio.
Yeah, the audio's good. I mean, there's not much you can really do, and it's clear. It's separated well. Nothing's muffled. There's no hisses or anything. Like, I know that's a generic answer, but it's good.
It's really good. And again, there's a raw review. We just finished watching the film, so we didn't get to check the back of the extras or the booklet. Did you get to check the booklet out, Peter? Or?
Yeah, the booklet doesn't say much about the video scan or the audio or anything, so...
I mean, overall, like the essays or anything like that.
Oh, I didn't get to read that, no.
but I know it's good. It's not like when 88 films, a few of the releases have some weird typos and misname. Eureka kills it with the booklets. You know,
they always have James Oliver on the Hong Kong stuff, and he's really solid. So I don't doubt that the essay is another win for Eureka.
And who did the commentary for this one?
It has 2 commentary tracks. One's by Frank Zhang, and the other is by Mike Leader and Arna Venema.
All right, again, Frank Dutch is going to give you guys some details. Like that popcorn shop used to be there back in 1995 and it closed. He's going to give you some crazy, insightful stuff, man. So, once again, what do you say to people who never saw this film?
This one in particular, I would say buy it. Like, it's just, unless you don't like melodrama, I mean, it's not even that melodramatic. So, I don't know what would deter you from seeing it. It's just good.
But yeah, I have nothing to say on this freaking amazing film, bro. Like, I love it. Buy it. Hopefully, it gets picked up by a Western label like Vinegar Syndrome, Arrow, whoever. I don't care who picks it up, man. But if you gotta have a region free or a PC with a Blu-ray drive, you are not gonna be disappointed with this film.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great release.
Yeah, man. But guys, as always, like, share, and subscribe. And until the next one, peace.